And today we've got Zack Brittain here to talk about the Waterloo market updates.
The big topic, Adam, is the crashing market. Oh no, is the real estate market crashing? Is the world going to end? Are interest rates taking over everything? We talked about it on some previous videos, but average price points have come down in March, about 5%, because what we see right here, this is the drop in average price point, right? This is average price point. Again, people, all property types, not multi-units, not single family, everything in Waterloo Region. In February, we were over 1 million. And then in March, we dropped down, right? We're at the 956. So we came down, about 5% almost market wide.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I'm Adam JD Martin, and today we've got Zack Brittain here to talk about the Waterloo market update. So, Zack, what's going on in Waterloo?
Yes, sir, Adam. Nice to see you today. Thanks for having us on. We're here in Waterloo Region, baby. Again, my name is Zack Brittain. You guys have seen me on the channel before. Local real estate agent investor with Phipps Brittain Real Estate and Cloud Realty. And myself and my partner, Matt, are working on a lot of investor stuff. But the big topic, Adam, is the crashing market. Oh no, is the real estate market crashing? Is the world going to end? Are interest rates taking over everything? We're going to cover the stats. We'll go over some buyer strategies and seller strategies, like I mentioned right before we got on, and then some investor strategies, and really the types of deals that we see the most opportunity in our market, and what types of deals investors should really be hunting if they're coming into the Waterloo region, if you're not already familiar with it. For those that are familiar, though, Adam, we'll get you up to speed on the data, on the stats, kind of where the market sits and where we think it's going to go, and then go into some of the details on what we recommend for sellers, buyers, and investors. At the end, I got some active deals that are currently available on the market, and these ones are fairly similar to a handful of deals we've recently seen. So if these are already sold by the time you guys get a chance to take a peek at it, don't worry. There are more deals like this. I wanted to highlight them because I think that's where there's a lot of value moving forward.
Yeah, awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the stats on Waterloo.
It's changing a little bit. So we're going to go over average prices, days on market, inventory, and then demand. What are emotions? We'll cover that on the demand side as well as the sell side. I just kind of wanted to put that in there to prompt people to realize, like, look, the markets can react and they can be emotional. But let's look at the hard data first. So on the last video, guys, we pulled up and we talked about the data that we're getting and where we're getting it from. We pulled all of it from the ITSO system. This is where real estate agents list their properties, sell them. This is where the bulk of our data comes from. And this is historical price data, right? So this is average sales price just in all of Waterloo Region, all property types for, since 2009, right? I wanted to just look at the whole deal just to kind of see, was there a time in the last 10 years or so where we had consistent, decline, let's say, because what we see right here, this is the drop in average price point, right? This is average price point. Again, people, all property types, not multi-units, not single family, everything in Waterloo Region. In February, we were over 1 million. And then in March, we dropped down, right? We're at the 956. So we came down, about 5% almost market wide, a little bit more in some market segments, but for kind of the purpose of this video and what you guys need to know, if you're starting your research, average prices took a little bit of a dip. The reality is we had such an aggressive growth in such a short period of time, Adam. Traditionally we see prices grow leading up to and into the middle of the spring. That's typically where you see the highest. Basically, since COVID, we've seen the market shift to the peaks of our market are kind of happening in that December, January, February time, all over Southern Ontario. And that could be just because of COVID lockdowns. It could be because of the way the interest rates have been and the timing the interest rates have been changed. I don't have an explanation for it. Before, it was as simple as it's nicer to go home shopping in the spring, and most people want to physically move into their home in the spring or the summer. Right? Seasonal trends. We talked about it on some previous videos, but average price points have come down. in March, about 5%. Do we think that's going to continue? We're going to talk about inventory. The reality is our market, let's see, we got month supply right here. Here's the same time frame, month supply around 4 or 5 for a couple of years, kind of between 2009 and 2011. That's around a balanced market right here. At that same time, prices were slowly increasing in Waterloo Region, right? Now, as soon as kind of that 2014, 2015 hit, steady decline in inventory, and then back up, steady decline again. When you have markets that have declining levels of inventory, Adam, what happens?
Yeah, price is going up, guys.
Boom. So in our market right here, guys, we see November, October, November, December, the lowest levels of inventory this past year in 2021, right? We have 0.2 months of inventory. That's literally a week of inventory. It's December. Not many people shop and buy homes in December, right? But this is literally there would be no homes on the market. They would be gone, non-existent if they didn't come to market, if no new ones came to market in January. So all-time lows for inventory. What happens for prices? They jump, right? There's a trend here, guys. Low inventory means price pressure. There's not enough properties available for the amount of buyers that want to purchase homes. So, a lot of other people in Southern Ontario, a lot of people on the channel, I've been watching their stuff. Low inventory has been a thing that's been in their markets for probably 5 years, if not more, right? And the big conversation that we've been getting a lot right now is, well, our price is just going to continue to go down if interest rates keep going up. There's a lot going on in the world. People are recovering from the global pandemic. Interest rates are going to continue to rise because they've been at all-time lows. Interest rate rise, affordability for financing goes down. Less people can afford mortgages or less of a mortgage, so they'll buy at a lower value, right? That's the logic. Those are key factors. But the reality is, specifically in Southern Ontario, it is too expensive and time-consuming to bring new units to market. We cannot build enough units quick enough for the amount of people that want to purchase and own property here in Ontario. Plain and simple. It's been a problem pretty much since the 70s, where we have not been able to consistently build enough units to meet demand as quickly as possible. So yes, do I think there is maybe a little bit less buyer demand this week or last week than there was in January and February? Yeah, absolutely. Interest rates have risen twice, and there is a lot of buyers out there that, quite frankly, probably need the market to dive in order to be able to afford the type of property that they once could afford. And so I think popular media has really put a lot of pressure on government, on media, and on real estate, because it is getting very unaffordable in Southern Ontario. That being said, I look at the data, and the data says there aren't enough homes available for the amount of people that want to buy. It also says that interest rates are still historically low, albeit they are trending higher. So exercise with caution, lock in your numbers if you guys are looking to purchase, sell, or refinance. But I just see this graph here, month supply of inventory. We got less than a month still. That's 0.7 months. Let's call it 3 weeks, right? And it hasn't been over 2 months of inventory since 2019. May 2019. So if you guys are listening here, this video is going to come out in April, beginning of May. And if you're thinking, well, I need to make a move by the end of the year, I need to buy. Well, more inventory is probably coming up. I would be taking a serious look at what your options are now, because there's a lot of buyers that have said, you know what, Zach, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I want to wait and see. I want to see what happens with the interest rates. I want to see if more inventory comes up. I want to see if prices come down even more. That's fair. I understand that, some people's position, but myself as an investor, and most people that are watching this are kind of have that investor mindset. The reality is I'm not going to be able to tell myself, let alone anybody else, when the lowest point of the market is or when the perfect time to buy is. So consider the data that is real, and consider that as one of the many factors with your long-term goals. If you're buying a primary residence for your mom and pop family home, then make sure it's in the location with the features that you want, and it satisfies the lifestyle that you want and the budget you have. If you're an investor, we're going to go through some strategies and some considerations that you should really take into account if you're specifically going to be shopping in Waterloo Region, but they're pretty applicable kind of market wide.
Yeah, I love this. And we were just actually talking about this with Emma Pace for our Toronto market update. And I think it makes a lot of sense to look a little bit more globally at any city, right? Like, how is Waterloo being driven? Well, likely from traffic from Toronto, right? Like, let's just be real about it.
Yep.
And one of her main points touches upon a lot of the points that you're making. Was she's kind of the analogy that real estate is a yo-yo on an escalator on the way up, right? And so that's kind of funny.
Perfect analogy.
Because it is. I mean, it's up and it's down in the short term. Long term, though, like, your charts have all shown this as well. Your data is concrete on this, that like the trend is up, like the trend line is way up. And depending on when you bought, like this 5% drop in the market literally does not matter if you bought anytime. When we were looking at your chart there, like anytime before 2019, like you are golden here.
You made the easiest $250,000 you'll ever make,
and you didn't do anything for it. So it's not as if you're losing your shirt here. It's like, no, there's just market forces that have to be appreciated.
Yep.
And I 100% agree with you on the fact that housing supply is going to be a big issue, probably in perpetuity for Ontario, because we've never been able to solve it. I don't think we're about to solve it. And when we looked at the data for Toronto on that market update, it was very obvious that the housing supply was ridiculously low compared to the amount of immigration and inbound people. So if you're not building houses, you're not building supply, and there's a lot of red tape in regards to building density. It's not going to just magically solve itself. I mean, look at how we generally in Ontario solve problems. Like what was the rapid transit thing in Waterloo that took 400 years and never actually got built? Like, this is how we
the LRT is a valuable component of the community, Adam.
Okay.
Long term, it's going to be great. I believe in it. Side note, as an investors, check out. So we're talking to some city planners a couple of years ago. If you're within a kilometer walking distance, even better, 500 meters walking distance to any one of those LRT stops.
Yeah, that's money. I know some of my
just classmates. A little tidbit for the investors out there. Just saying, take a peek at it. Look at those areas. Just saying. Some
of my classmates made big appreciation on there. But
yeah, it's a good spot.
I completely agree. The supply challenge is not going to be solved overnight. No. And I think in the short term, when we're looking at these price fluctuations, like, there's no trend line on this graph, but it doesn't take a computer scientist to imagine how the trend line looks, right? Like, supply is just simply at its low. And price is very obviously here hockey sticking in the last few years. But I mean, supply is just not going to fix itself. So
no. And the reality is guys, good deals still sell quickly. This is the days on market.
Yeah.
It's been below 10 for almost a full year.
Yeah. You list yourself.
You have to go out and find and secure the property in less than a week. That is insane. Like, this is even 2009, right after kind of all the crap that was going down globally, essentially global financial crisis. Right after about a month, and a month is still pretty quick. Like, that's still pretty quick to move a property. That's still pretty quick. It's been less than 10 days for over a year now. So, and it came up by 1 day on average between February and March. And so it went from 6 days to 7 days, guys. So I just want to caution people. As much as we would, even as an investor, I would like a lot more predictable market, a little bit slower moving, a lot more predictable. That would be a lot better for myself as an investor and most investors. But the reality is there isn't enough available. And until people don't want to buy real estate as much anymore, and until there's less people coming to Ontario, and specifically Waterloo Region and the GTA, you nailed it earlier, Adam. The GTA is a big, we're a big spill-off market from the GTA. You're an hour drive, give or take. We got a couple good schools, we got enough amenities and enough stuff going on here that it's a good enough place to live for people that still need access to the GTA. And it's much more affordable, but that's changing really quickly. So this is the data. And guys, we've said this on videos before. If you need access to this data, we're going to get to how you can get in touch with us after, but reach out to us. These are things that we look at. So you can either ask us your questions or you can just ask us for the raw data. We share stuff on our blog. We share stuff on our personal social media. And we're happy to email you guys any data you need your hands on. I think these things are really important as an investor for context, but I'm not making my decisions solely off of these pieces of information. One other thing I wanted to highlight real quick, Adam, was something that we really started looking at for the last year or so, and that's showing data. So this is showing volume just for Broker Bay. So broker pay is just one tool that agents can use to list their properties and manage their showings. It's just one tool, but it gives some context as to the trends, right? Right here, the amount of showings fell off the cliff in that kind of March to April. Like just this is this week. So disregard this, guys. But we went from, 450 showings in a week to 320, 307, 304 on all properties. And this is just one. This isn't for all showings in our region, guys. But what that tells me is as soon as that kind of March break time kind of hit, interest rates were going to get bumped up again for sure. Buyers were like, whoa, I want to take a look. This is literally coming off of the craziest February, January that we've had, where prices jumped almost 100K in 2-3 months. So buyers are probably thinking, well, I can't continue to compete if I have to, come up with an extra 50 grand a month just to keep pace with the market. They're saying market's too hot for me. Interest rates are going to rise. There's all of a sudden there's this world war going on too. Shit's going to hit the fan, part of my language, but stuff's going to happen. I want to see what happens. Well, now that interest rates have risen and now that there's a little bit more inventory, some buyers are creeping back into the picture saying, you know what, now's the time to go. And we put all of our investors, all of our buyers on blast about a month ago when we released the last video with you guys as well, just saying, hey, look, uncertainty brings opportunity, especially in real estate. And that opportunity in our market typically only lasts about 30 to 60 days. And I'll show you, we got on this graph here too, you can almost match up. And I hate to harp on it, but you can almost match up when there's a dive in inventory, there's a bump in prices. Guys, November, December, basically declining inventory, 0.5, 0.3, 0.2. In October, November, December last year, what happened for the prices in December, January, February, March? They skyrocketed. Same thing happens when you see a dip in inventory. January right here in 2020, February, March were the biggest months of that year for price growth. So right now, inventory is coming up. What happens when the inventory comes up? Prices kind of, they dip a little bit and then they stabilize. And then once the inventory dries up, buyers have to fight for it again. All of a sudden, prices go up. So do I think it's going to recover very quickly this year? No. Do I think it's going to go down very quickly any more than it already has? No. I would suspect market will likely continue to be fairly stable around the prices, around the speed in which you need to find and buy properties for the next few months at least. Buyers will start to get back in, supply will dry up, and then more competition will likely come to our market towards the fall or the end of the year, as it happened last year. That's our expectations. But the reality is there's more opportunity for buyers now than there were even 3 weeks ago. So we're going out and we're going shopping, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reality is too that the interest rates are not high. Like, grow up. Anybody that's thinking the interest rates are high, they're not. This is literally free money if we're looking at the point at which inflation is right now. So this is cheap money. There's deals in every market. And you really just need, a great power team to maybe identify them if you're not looking at these types of things every day. So that's where, Zach's going to come in and help you guys. It's like, hey, assemble a great power team that knows how to buy in a market that's doing this behavior, right?
Absolutely. So, everybody that's watching now, they're doing their homework, Adam. That's great. Yeah. If you guys are watching, fantastic. A lot of you either have a power team or have some experience in your home market. A lot of people have been reaching out, coming from outside markets. A lot of people on your channel have been getting in touch with us from outside markets, and they're doing their homework, and that's awesome. And what we'll go into is we're going to go into just like a reiteration of the investor mindset first. So if you guys watch this video and you're an investor, please just remember long-term goals, right? I had to put up a little picture of our guy because I was like, as I was thinking about this, I was like, nobody scores more goals than this guy. So I got to bring him into it. His long-term goal, score as many goals as possible, win a championship. If he scores more goals in his games, he's going to win a championship eventually. If there's short-term volatility, whether it be in, a hockey game or a market that we're in now, right? That's opportunity. If people are confused about the direction of a market or they are considering factors more so than they should be, then there's going to be opportunity. There's going to be motivated sellers that are willing to let go of properties a little bit less or quicker. And there's going to be less buyers to compete against. I like that. For a reminder though, cash flow. Cash flow is your best friend. Cash flow is the Mitch Marner to the Austin Matthews. Cash flow positive properties are the backbone of the majority of successful real estate investments. Guys, there are cash flow positive properties that you can buy as is in our market. You just buy a cash flow positive property at a good price. at the bare minimum, you're going to do just fine, if not great, because our market has low inventory and the price appreciation will continue to go up. But the kicker is, if property doesn't continue to appreciate and you're still making positive cash flow, you're still making money on it every month. That's a win-win. Investors, please just remember your long-term goals, whether it's active appreciation, accumulating net worth, monthly cash flow to replace your job or retire, whatever it may be. Anchor your next decisions to, is it going to help me get to my long-term goal quicker or easier? And just remind yourself that if you can get a cash flow positive property, that is going to be your best friend. That is a great start. On top of that, a cash flow positive property that has options is even better. Can I force appreciation with this property? Can I improve the value of the property? Is there more future potential with this property or opportunity compared to the others that are on the market? If there are options for you, that is even better. But again, anchor to your long-term goals and just focus on cash flow. And our market's got cash flow. Real quick to go into some other stuff for sellers. I know we do have some people that are considering selling properties, whether they be investors or homeowners that are thinking about maybe selling a property to reinvest in an investment property. Our market's shifting a little bit with inventory coming up, Adam. And there's three strategies. One, you list super low, you hold off offers. In our market, properties are still selling on average over 20% over asking price. You listed $1 million, you're probably selling 1.2, 1.25, just for example, right? So if you're expecting to sell for 1.2 million, you're probably listing it at 900K, 999K, or $1 million and expecting it to sell for 1.2. Next strategy is what some people do is they say, well, you know what? 200 grand is kind of a big jump for a buyer to offer over asking price. I'm going to list it maybe 50 or 100K under what I'm expecting. Hold off offers for a week, take offers, figure out what you're going to do with those ones. The next strategy is much more traditional and one that we haven't really seen that popular in about 5-6 years is put the sticker price on the listing. I think it's worth $1 million. I'm going to list it for $1 million. And then you review offers anytime. For any sellers out there that are considering a selling strategy or really want to understand what we think is one of the best ideas to sell the home, list the property so low that everybody in your neighbor has to come look at it. I want, if properties that we're listing some of our own homes in the coming weeks, coming months, right? If I was selling any of my own homes, I would list it so low that everybody would have to come see it. I'm not saying put it up for $1, but I'm just saying put it on the low end of what you think is low and let it be shown by as many humans as you possibly can that are qualified buyers. The strategy here, guys, is I need to get my property in front of as many buyers as humanly possible and make them bring me an offer so I can have them bring them the best offer because they're going to have to beat all the other offers I have. It is literally suicide for your listing to go this route. Do not list it in the middle and hold off offers. If you don't want to list your property under value, if you don't want to list it to get it 25% over asking price, then just put your sticker price on it. Just list it at what you think it's worth. That is my recommendation for you guys. But in a shifting market, there are still, I just did research in Waterloo. There was about a dozen homes that sold low millions and they all listed high 800s, low 900s. They're still selling 200 to 300,000 over asking price in the last week or two. So if you guys are selling, these are your seller strategies. Numero uno right here. List it low, let it go, baby. That is the way.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I know as a buyer, that's the most frustrating thing in the entire world for me. It literally drives me insane. But as a seller strategy, I think it's fantastic because there's just so much uncertainty about what to offer. So people, I think, generally want to win an offer. And so, they'll counter high, they'll go high on their best offer and just stretch, right? And I think this concept of having the most available eyes see the property, and you mentioned something there I think is important, qualified buyers, right? Having the most qualified buyers actually look at your property is got to be one of the best ways, especially if you have a nice product, right? Like imagine you have actually a good product, which, the investors watching this channel, ideally, if we're offloading a property, it's because we've already maximized our value in that property, right?
Oh.
We did the kitchens, bathrooms, landscaping, lighting, paint, flooring. We did all the good stuff that's going to add maximum value to our property. This is a great time to let it go, right? And I sold all my properties last year because this was a fantastic time. If you had already added a ton of value to them, when you see that price driving up, why not, right? And why not get as many eyes as you can on a great product?
Absolutely. And I think you nailed it right on. A lot of the investors that watch this channel, they understand how to position their property and what they need to do to it to get the most value out of it. And most investors are only going to sell that when they think they can get max value and then also have something else lined up to put the money to work. Whether you're going to go into lending, other markets, other types of property, whatever it may be. We use these selling strategies for most of our investors as well. You know, you got to deal with tenants as well. So there are elements on managing that. But generally speaking, guys, if you're considering selling, we are still super low in inventory. There are still a ton of buyers out there. Get all of them in there as possible. And we have other strategies to attract specific types of buyers as well. But contact your local professional. If these people are selling these types of homes that you're selling, they will know the exact market for that. And just what Adam said at the beginning is your power team. That could be a part of your power team, right? Another secret sauce, staging. Please, if you have a vacant unit, stage it, get it cleaned, get it staged. If you're just selling your single family home, your primary residence, or maybe an investment property that you've owned and you've done well on, and it's now vacant, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to fill it with tenants. I can sell it, make a ton of money, go put that into something else. A lot of people that have reached out to us, Adam, you know, they've got a condo or a townhouse that they had as their first investment property, which is really common. You know, fantastic first property. If you get it on the cheap, it's appreciated really well, and they want to sell it and make that move into a multi-unit game. Get it cleaned up, stage it, please. It's like cleaning your car before you put it up on Kijiji. If you're going to do that, please just consider a staging consultation. Get it clean and have the property staged. Tens of thousands of dollars to be made, guys. That is the secret sauce. We recommend staging. We stage virtually every one of our listings if we possibly can. It is super important.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Emma in Toronto had the exact same advice right now. It's like, hey, you see a bit of uncertainty in the market. And if you do see days on market starting to creep up a little bit, it's time to actually add even more value to your listing, not draw back, right? People don't want minimalism. They want proper value adds, and they want to be able to imagine a great space. And it can also help dampen any drawbacks from your property too. Like if there's, you know, anything potentially that's not necessarily seen as a huge pro on your property, staging is a great way to sort of soften that blow, right? And help maximize your value. So I think that's great. And like average staging, I don't know about you guys in Waterloo, but like we're talking about no cost. Like this is like $1,500, maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000 if you're going crazy. Like,
yeah, you want to stage a full property. It varies obviously based on size and like the quality of home you're selling to. But you're selling a single family home in a decent area that's maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10 condition. You're staging it for a few $1,000, and it's we're talking tens of thousands, guys, tens of thousands. So
yeah, the ROI, like why skip out on this thing? You've already got this far.
Yeah, we released a video on our YouTube channel and shot out a blog on just staging and selling strategies and what the biggest bang for your buck is. I know Emma and a lot of the other people on the Canadian Real Estate channel have done a lot of stuff on that, on the Canadian Real Estate channel and on their own social media. So we're not saying this just to spill out lies. I stage every property that we sell as well. We stage it to the nines. It's worth it every time. We're going to go through buyer strategies pretty quick because they're going to be pretty similar to our investor strategies. But guys, if you're buying real estate, we have a free buyer guide on our website. There'll be a link in the description. It goes through the whole buying process from beginning to end, but you need to clarify your key variables. What are your financing options? What kind of capital do you have access to? Lending, private loans, family money, friends. Are you going to bring in a partner? All these things you need to lock down and be 100% certain on, because then you can go and you can offer on properties quickly. And if you do your goals properly, if you research your deal criteria, you know what that is. And just like Adam said, and I repeated, if you have your power team can give you your deal criteria based on your price point and what your goals are, right? Somebody reaches out to me, hey, Zach, I need a cash flow positive property, but my purchase price is X. Okay. In 5 minutes, I can tell you what types of deals fit our market. That could even be a relatively option for you. If those are close to an option, awesome. Let's go verify your numbers, make sure the mortgage broker signs off A-OK, and then let's go run some scenarios with some Excel sheets, make sure that these deals make sense for you and they fit in with your long-term strategy. After that, buyers, you need to look at properties often and early. What I mean by that is you're getting sent listings right to your phone or right to your email address. You're checking them as often as you can. And these listings actually fit your real criteria. So if you're looking for single family homes, you're only looking at single family homes in your desired neighborhoods, in your desired price. And since you've already established your goals and your deal criteria with your power team or your real estate agent like me, You know when a property comes up, probably what it's going to sell for and what type of deal you think you could get on it. If you don't know those things or you don't want to make those decisions, then ask your real estate agent. We advise our clients directly on properties that we think are good deals, and we tell them what prices we think they're good deals in and why, so that if that fits their criteria, awesome, we're going to go view it, or we're going to go do a video tour to check it out, right? All I can tell you right now is getting prepared in advance and viewing a lot of properties and offering and viewing as often and quickly as possible is your best way in a competitive market. Our market is still very competitive. So there's a buyer guide on our website with a link in the description. It's free, but if you guys are buying and you're not experienced, talk to a couple agents that have experience in that. And now investor strategy, the good stuff. Investors, start shopping now. Simple as that. There are more opportunities and less buyers on our market right now. Confirm your financing, set those goals if you haven't already. If you're coming in from a different market, learn your market and the typical deal criteria for the types of properties or price point that you're comfortable with. You're looking for X% cash on cash, X% cap, nominal value, $400 a month in positive cash flow, or you just want to break even and you're trying to park capital, whatever it may be. Understand your market. If you don't know your market, get in touch with people like myself and other people on the Canadian Real Estate Channel that are market experts. That's why we are here. And then, Adam, you've bought properties in other markets, right? Yeah, I can't drive to another city. I'm the busy guy. I can't drive to check it out. How are you going to view properties early and often if you can't physically be there? Virtual tours, get your power team to go window shop them for you. Our clients, if you are become a client of ours, we'll go window shop the property for you. If we haven't even seen it already, typically we probably have. If it's a decent deal, we'll probably already look at it, myself and my partner, Matt. If not, we'll go do a video tour. You're at work, you got 5 minutes to step out for a coffee or hit the bathroom real quick and go for a video tour to see if this is a good deal or not. You can make time for that. And if not, then you hire people that you can trust to bring you the right deals and get it done for you, right? Understanding what your goals are, what your market is, and what good deal criteria in that market is the bare minimum. Finding the right power team will accelerate that growth. And I mean, 2 weeks ago, we had 4 investors pick up properties in the same week because sellers were panicking. They thought the market was going to crash. We got favorable pricing. Listings aren't getting offers like they used to. So there's opportunity knocking. And I think now we'll go through some of the deals that are active and we'll go through some other deals that recently sold. We did this on the last video, and I think it's a really good way for people that are newer to Waterloo Region to better understand what types of properties are here, what they're kind of selling for, and what potential opportunities there are in our market now that it's starting to shift a little bit. But again, like stuff that you even said on YouTube channel and other investors since it started. Get your stuff together, understand your financing, and anchor your next deal to your goals, and then just start shopping, baby. You got to view them and you got to offer on them to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And leveraging the team there is just such a key point. Like, you don't need to be everywhere. Like, if you're living in Toronto, thinking about buying in Waterloo, you don't need to drive to Waterloo. Zach will do that for you. That's literally what he gets paid for. Same thing with your mortgage agent. Same thing with your lawyers. Like, you can, and I do this all the time, right? Like, I never go to a law office anymore to sign things. Like, it's all digital, and the pandemic actually helped that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are familiar now with electronic communications and like video conference calls.
Yep.
And all these things can help you leverage your time to get better deals faster. And I think speed's like the one thing people don't seem to really ever grasp. It's like agility is the number one factor. How fast can you get in and out of opportunities and make offers? Like, that's going to be your key success factor. Yeah.
Experienced investors I almost guarantee anybody that's been an investor for even a couple of years, if not longer, has had multiple occasions in which they've gotten a deal just because they've been available and ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
On offer day, we get calls from agents that are selling investment properties or potential flip properties. On offer day, we'll get calls pretty often just because they know we've seen that property. They've seen the viewing history. Either we viewed it, previewed it for a client, or taken a client through. And they know we buy those types of properties, and they'll call us on offer. Hey, we got nothing. What can your guys do for this? Just because we're in the game, just because they know us, just because those are the types of deals we do, and just because they know that we can move on properties. Us and our clients, they're prepared and they're able to move on a deal quick. So if they want to make sure there's no problems, then they come talk to us because they know we have investors that are looking. And it is a benefit, but being able to move quickly is huge. So that brings us to our investor hot list, Adam. the blessed investor hot list where all of the deals are going to be shared. Every week, once a week, we send out all the deals that we've seen that we think are good opportunities. Everybody on the investor hot list gets an email. If you want to come take a peek at it, if you have questions, if you're still doing research, you email us back with your questions or concerns. We can hop on a quick phone call, set up a meet, or set up a time to view the properties you're interested in. This is the best way for people that are doing preliminary research and want to start investing in Waterloo Region. We go through all the deals: single family flips, duplex conversions, multi-units, larger multi-units. We will go through all of them. If we haven't personally viewed them, we will send you them and say, hey, look, this one's up at this price. We think it's a good deal for this reason. Who wants it? So if you guys are doing your research, if you're an experienced investor or you're just getting started and want to learn more about the market, this is a good place to start. We have the link in the description, phippsbrittainrealestate.com/contact us. Select the investor tab. Lots of people have been reaching out. That's great. We are doing this every single week. Matt will be going through them and sending you an email with everything you need to know about their top picks for that.
That's
and now,
huge.
Current deals, my friend. 5-plex, 1.6, making about 90K, purpose built right by the highway. This one is, this is in an area where it's all multi-units, right? A lot of purpose built, brick built multi-units on big lots. It's making 90 grand. Purchase it as is, pretty fair deal. 5-plexes, 4-plexes, pretty rare in our market, especially purpose built. So you will pay a premium for a purpose built property. But as somebody who has owned purpose built and retrofitted multi-units, there is value in owning purpose builts. Let's just say that, right? They're built as a multi-unit for that reason. The parking is set up, the utilities are set up properly. You're usually on a little bit of a bigger lot too, Adam. And we like bigger lots because that gives us options for future value add, additional parking, storage, garage, more units, resale potential. We like that. We're gonna go through these pretty quick though. Triplex, downtown Kitchener, 1 unit vacant. As you can see, parking a little bit stickier on this one. There is parking out back, but triplex for $1 million with 1 unit vacant and all the other units in pretty good shape, getting decent rents. We like this one. Anywhere around the millions, pretty fair for it, especially for those of you that like the downtown location. If you've watched my videos before, we love the downtown area. We think it's still fairly undervalued. There is opportunity for this type of property. Duplex. This one is tenanted, about $500, maybe $600 a month under market value, but would carry as is 700 grand, not holding off offers. Just got an email from the listing agent last night. It's been on the market for 3 days. They got an offer last night, looking at them today. But these are the types of deals that weren't on the market 2 months ago. A duplex would not have listed and not held off offers 2 months ago. So inherently, I'm going to be offering on this and competing against less buyers. Better chance that I get it at a lower price than I did 2 months ago, just for that reason alone. Good location, good lot, future potential to lift rents in the short term, long-term potential, add an additional unit, or just keep it and let it cash flow as is. Vacant duplex, 925. You see on this one, 699, not holding off offers. Vacant duplex, 929. You're saying, Zach, from 700K to 929K, that's a pretty big jump. Well, if this is a big lot, if this has extra parking, if it's vacant and I get to set current market rents, the cash flow per month on this would be very similar to what you're likely going to purchase the other property at, and you can get your own tenants. So for somebody that wants to screen their own tenants, is a little bit more particular, or is happy to pay a little bit of a premium to set their market rents and get a property in good shape, again, vacant, not holding off offers, good opportunity. Now, to the duplex conversions. The king of real estate investments in Waterloo Region has returned. Thank you, Aragorn. We are back, baby. Duplex conversions are so back. Even 3 months ago, you had to pay, probably 800 and 900K minimum for like a nice but decent bungalow in a good area where you're going to have to put another 150, 200K in to legally duplex it. You're all in a duplex for like 1 to 1.1 million. And the numbers they still work. You're breaking even. You're doing just fine. We've done a bunch of them with clients and for ourselves, but didn't really get the margin of safety that you were getting on these types of projects about a year ago. What we've seen is duplexes now are still selling between the 900 and the 1.1. If it's vacant, if it's move-in ready, or if it's getting premium rents and it's in nice shape, closer to the 1.1. The reason they sell at that price point, Adam, is that's still where they break even and make a couple $100 a month if you're getting current market rents. Now, let's take a step back. If you wanted to convert a property to duplex, you can be all in a duplex conversion comfortably for under $1 million. So 10 out of 10 duplex. We just shot another video with Peter that we'll be releasing next month or two on duplex conversions, burring multi-units. We'll touch on that in those. But for duplex conversions, you're adding value to the home by converting it from 1-unit property to a legal 2-unit property. And if you can do that for under $1 million and you are now worth closer to 1.1 million because the property's been renovated, because you're setting market rents, or because you're selling it vacant, you've inherently built in $100K in equity for your work right away. You are now up a minimum $100,000 just for doing the work, and you have a cash flow positive property. Bonus, Adam, large lots. What are we going to do with large lots? We're going to add additions. We're going to look at tiny homes. We're going to add storage, parking. There are other ways to boost your cash flow, and the large lots just give you future options. At the beginning of this video, we talked about options. Future options are huge. They're important, and they give you flexibility as an investor. So we love them. Duplex right here, or sorry, single family home has an in-law suite set up in the basement, upstairs, smoked in, sold for $750. You can renovate the upstairs unit and legally convert this to a duplex for about $100K, if not less. That's if you're paying a general contractor to do everything for you.
That's awesome.
So you're in a legal duplex for $850. Call it $900K after private financing costs, closing costs, refinance, whatever. Give yourself $50K in soft costs. You're in a legal duplex that's making market rents for $900K, whereas a lot of them a month or two ago selling 1.1. Guys, we tried to sell this one. We couldn't sell it quick enough. We tried to sell it. Another one just came up. Nice brick bungalow, quiet neighborhood, great lot for future potential, garage in the back, already got the plumbing and the little kitchenette set up in the basement. This is $699. It's on a 54 frontage lot by 125 with a long driveway and a garage in the back. Great property. Listing price for this one, raised bungalow, forced heights, 809, not holding off offers. 800K. You can renovate this one into a legal duplex on the cheap, being at less than 900, and you have a massive lot in the backyard. You're right off the highway. You're close to the Sunrise Plaza. There's about a dozen schools within about a 5-minute drive of there. You can rent it out to young family, young professionals. You're getting premium rents. You can be all in a legal duplex for less than $1 million. You are now up probably 100K just to show up to the party. Offers anytime on this one. This one we would look at for an addition or a tiny home as well. So if anybody's looking at the additions of the tiny homes, we love the big lots on this one. We love the big lots on the previous slide as well. These are, great duplex conversions. These are layups for people that have had experience on these. But if you're looking for a little bit more juice for your squeeze as an investor, look at properties with the larger lots that are zoned for the tiny homes. There is opportunity in those. In the coming months, we'll be sharing a video on kind of one of the projects that we have on the go that'll be touching on stuff like that. So for next time, guys, or just to summarize really what's happening in kind of March and April here in Waterloo Region, inventory is still low. Interest rates are going up. So some buyers are a little bit worried. That's fine. We still have less than a month of inventory. So for sellers, expect a lot of buyer attacks. We want to make sure that we're presenting sellers listings to attract the right amount of buyers, and you want to present them to get more qualified buyers through. For buyers and investors, though, there's opportunity. There are less buyers out looking as aggressively as were 2 months ago. So we're taking a serious look. We're always looking to buy if it's the right opportunity. And there's more opportunities for motivated sellers and less buyers to compete against right now. So hit us up for the investor hot list if you guys are interested in learning more about our market, or if you actively want to start searching for investment properties. Coming up though, Adam, with our lovely friend Peter, we went through some multi-unit BRRRRs and some duplex conversions. These are really popular types of investments for people on your channel and for a lot of people that are coming to our local marketplace. There's a lot of opportunity in those. We still see a ton of opportunity in multi-unit BRRRRs. We see a ton of opportunity in duplex conversions now that there's less, less aggressive price demand, less aggressive price growth and demand for those types of investment properties in Waterloo Region. But still, for a newer investor, a duplex, a single family with an in-law suite, or a true duplex conversion are all fantastic options. And they do offer a lot of really good learning experiences for newer investors. For experienced investors, it's just about making sure the numbers work. There are still good margins for those types of deals in our market. and we'll be talking about them a little bit more in depth in May and in June on the channel. We got some good stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, that's awesome, Zach. I appreciate the update, and I certainly haven't been paying as much attention to Waterloo, so it's great for me to see it too from like a truly sort of fresh perspective here. And I think everything you said today makes a lot of sense. And the real takeaway for me from Zach's talk is just like, remember the fundamentals, guys. Like cash flow is always a great thing. Buying investments that actually fit your goals is always a great thing. And maintaining a great power team is key to your success. So thanks, Zach. I really appreciate the Waterloo update. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, and go over and follow Zach and get subscribed to that investor hot list. I think that's a great idea as well to stay in tune, so that Zach can actually do the work for you guys while you're out doing your projects or while you're at the office. So appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for checking out the video, guys. Really appreciate you having me on, Adam. Take care.
Cheers.